took an interesting approach to his social media after that one.
You would think 6 interceptions last week, Tom, that Matt Corral would have a difficult time getting over it, that he wouldn't want to see the negativity. He actually told us, I went straight to my phone in the locker room, I looked at what everybody said, went through my social media mentions, I saw it, I read it, I accepted it, I closed the book on it, and now it's over. Lane Kiffin said he had a great week of practice, and Matt Corral said, I thrive off the negativity. The only thing that I don't like are the people who feel sorry for me when I have a bad game. He's looking to have a nice bounce-back game today.
Yeah, he does not want your sympathy, that's for sure. On the other side for Bo Nix, he's looking for a bounce-back game. We're talking with Chad Morris, the offensive coordinator. He said body language will be the key. Another key, and it doesn't always add up, Jordan. Bo Nix has been a different player at home versus on the road.
Yeah, that's just a mentality. Look, sometimes you let mentalities become reality, and Bo Nix needs to put that behind him. And look, I'm okay with some of the friction on the sideline last week. I love a quarterback that can be confrontational but still be a teammate and a leader. I think that's who Bo Nix is. I just need to see him play from the pocket more consistently. As this Auburn running game gets going, that needs to be the key.
Grant Lloyd prepared today. If they need to take the load off Bo Nix, we'll see if that becomes an issue. The backup for either side. Anders Carlson will get us started on a beautiful afternoon for football. Jarian Ely and Henry Paris Jr. back to receive, and no chance to bring this one back. So here's Matt Corral, 8th in the country in passing efficiency. He was leading the nation in total offense going into last week's game. What a performance against Alabama. 21-28 for 365 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Drastically different last week against Arkansas. Jordan, what did you see?
Oh, it was just a head-scratcher, right? It was not indicative of anything we've seen from Matt Corral so far this year. He was dynamic. Last week, I feel like it was an anomaly. So early in this game, start to watch his throws. Manage his confidence early. Get him some easy throws so we can shake off those interceptions from last week.
Snoop Connor gets a start in the backfield. It'll be a touch pass to Elijah Moore going side to side, and quite frankly, Auburn doesn't mind that. It's a loss of 2, and that will leave 2nd and 12.
And you're going to see tempo. You're going to see tempo that's faster than you see on any Saturday in college football as they get going already.
Now it's a touch pass to Jonathan Mingo, and Mingo will get 2 of those yards back plus 1 more. Talking with defensive coordinator Kevin Steele, he said you take your fastest guy and you move him side to side. Instead of going downtown, he's going out to the country. We'll take that every play.
Out here on 3rd and long. 2 quick touch passes for Matt Corral. Here's where he be tested. Here's where he will be tested throwing the football downfield.
They drop 8. Corral couldn't quite fit it in through the hands of his intended receiver. And it'll be 3 and out.
Man, this is to see from Matt Corral, though. Watch his eyes. You can't see it here, but he looks off that defender, number 14, underneath, which opens up the window for 84 right there. He bring that down. So a good, confident, accurate throw from Corral, even though they're going to have to punt it away.
Kenny Yeboah, one of the best receiving tight ends in college football this season. So here's the yin and the yang of the tempo. It can get defenses on their heels. It can also give the ball right back quickly. And it'll be less than a minute of possession time for Ole Miss. Mack Brown to punt it away. Eli Sove is back to receive for Auburn. Fair catch for Stove inside the 30. It'll be a 45-yard punt. And we get a look at the reigning SEC Freshman of the Year, Bo Nix. Nick Brahms, his center, said he's going to bounce back. He's so positive. I don't think he lets the noise get to him.
Auburn's got a healthy running back crew for the first time in a while with Sean Shivers back.
And in fact, it's Shivers getting the start at running back, even though Tank Bigsby has been the go-to back the last couple of weeks. Shivers back 100%. He gets taken down in the backfield. It's Sam Williams with the big hit and a loss of 4.
They start out with his own read. Sometimes as a quarterback, first play of the game, you're not quite in tune or paying attention to what you need to because Bo Nix should have pulled that one and kept it himself.
2nd and long now for Bo Nix and Auburn. They'll run it again. Shivers, second try, a little bit better. This time he finds 5.
And so now a third down in a passing situation. Auburn's using tempo, but these are the scenarios where Bo Nix needs to be able to play quarterback from the pocket. Will Chad Morris ask him to get outside the pocket? Will he trust him to play between the tackles as they go an empty set here? Watch Shivers. Oh, that's
they
DJ.
brought DJ Williams in.
Yep.
He'll join Nix in the backfield out of the shotgun. 3rd down, 9. Nix leaves the pocket, drops all the way back to the 13-yard line, and will throw this one down the sideline, and he actually had a couple of guys there. Tavius Robinson gave chase and got pressure on Nix.
And this is what you don't want to coach out of Bo Nix, right? There is pressure here, and it's real pressure, so he does a great job of escaping with his legs. Too many times on tape we've seen him escape with no pressure. It's a fine line to walk to coach a quarterback when to get outside the pocket, as you see talking with Chad Morris right now about where the pressure came from and how to fix it.
Nix's legs were keys in the South Carolina game. He rushed and scrambled for a pair of first downs in their final drive last week. Aiden Marshall to punt it away. Elijah Moore tells everybody to clear out, and it'll take a hop and get inside the 30. Two high-powered offenses.
Depending on how Auburn plays Ole Miss and how this goes, I expect to see Plumlee at some point.
Here's a keeper by Corral. Enough legs to keep him honest and pick up a first down, converting a 2nd and 15 with a 25-yard QB run.
And this is just an embarrassment of riches, right? We're talking about the more athletic quarterback that needs to get in. Oh, Matt Corral says, wait, hold my beer. Look at this, right? I mean, he has the ability to get north and south, and he's a great athlete as well. So it's going to be situational, but don't sleep on Matt Corral and his ability to use his legs as well. It's a big part of what makes him a complete quarterback.
Hold my solo cup. Tempo for Ole Miss under offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby, who was directing the offense at UCF the last couple of seasons. Corral 5th in the nation in total offense. Here's a toss to Ely now. And Ely finds the edge. Cole, you talked with Lane before the game. What'd you learn?
Yeah, I asked him, I said, he came up to me, first thing he said is, he's like, how you like the jersey? I'm doing this for John Rice today. Pretty cool, huh? I said, yeah, actually, I like the best looking baseball jersey in college baseball. But he said, the thing with Matt Corral is I'm not going to take him out if he's playing well. We want to play John Rice, but I'm not taking Matt out just to get him in if he's having success.
3 and out their first drive, and now Corral's legs gave him a fresh set of downs. See what they do on 3rd and 2. We'll talk a lot about the advanced analytics that Ole Miss uses, and you'll see some non-traditional 3rd down calls because of that. They try to go straight ahead with Ely, and he bounces it to the outside, finds the edge, and he finds the first down. Tremendous run by Ely.
There is not a more underrated running back in the SEC right now than Jerrion Ely. I mean, he is unbelievably talented, but when you talk about the best backs, you never hear his name come up. I can't say enough how much I love watching him.
6 plays this drive, all 6 runs for Ole Miss. Now Snoop Connor in the backfield. Three-man front. They'll give it to Connor. And he's brought down by Owen Papo. It's a pickup of 3. So Ole Miss obviously leaning on the run, Jordan. You assume they'll do that until the passing game opens up?
Absolutely. I mean, you want to throw the ball if you're Ole Miss, but if the run game's going, that's what's best for the RPO, the run-pass option off that, which Corral is so dangerous doing that.
Very patient approach for Ole Miss. Yeboah, the tight end in the backfield. Big hole on the right side for Snoop Connor. And he's blasting dudes inside the 10. It's a 19-yard run. He went right through Jordan Peters at the 5.
We saw Matt Corral with the big run. The Jerrion Ely bounces off the guy. And, oh, by the way, they got a number 3 as well named Snoop Connor, who's a heck of a player as well. And already the tempo and snap.
Here's Connor again, this time bottled up. So many great running backs that they moved Tylen Knight, who was in the backfield, to the secondary this week. We'll see Tylen Knight playing some nickel and cornerback. This will be the 10th play of the second drive of the game for Ole Miss. On 2nd and goal, Snoop. No smoke there, picks up just 1.
This is an area of the field that they've struggled. Once you get in the red zone, you're a team that loves tempo, right? This offensive background struggles in the red zone when you don't have it as much space and when the pace slows down. Watch Elijah Moore in the slot here, though. He's the go-to guy for Matt Corral. It's man coverage across the board by Auburn. There's going to be an opportunity to win here in man coverage.
3rd and goal, looking to throw. In zone. Intercepted! Picked up by McCreary, and he's going to try to bring it out. A good play to pick it off, not a smart decision to bring it out. And Roger McCreary has his 2nd pick in as many games.
And Corral was trying to find a... Matt Corral's expecting him to break towards the middle of the field. He doesn't. 23 undercuts it. Miscommunication and yet another interception for Matt Corral in this Ole Miss offense.
At 7 in his last 34 attempts, we saw John Rice Plumlee getting loose on the Ole Miss sideline a moment ago. We also saw Grant Lloyd getting loose on the Auburn sideline. Tank Bigsby is now in at running back and running straight ahead. Bigsby rips off a 1st down run. Cole, were you surprised that Bigsby didn't get the start today and they went with the healthy Shivers?
Not necessarily, Tom. I think if Shivers is ready to go, he's close to 100%. Gus Malzahn has told us multiple times he's one of the leaders on this football team. His teammates voted him a captain going into the season. You want to give him a shot to get back out there and maybe get some momentum going.
Bigsby with 8 plays of 20 yards or more in this season, who started the year as a 3rd-string running back. Made the first man miss, and now he's rolling right through the heart of that Ole Miss defense, which was gashed by Kentucky for 400 rushing yards.
And this is what you love about Tank Bigsby, forcing yet another missed tackle there, juking a linebacker. He's got 19 of those on the season. There's nobody in college football right now that's harder to tackle than number 4 for Auburn. Buckle up your chin straps, Ole Miss.
Swing out to Anthony Schwartz. And Schwartz is able to pick up 7. Jalen Jordan, first man there. Ole Miss late scratch at safety. Jalen Jones not available today. There's not much depth back there. Ja'Cory Hawkins is out for the 2nd straight week. And Jamar Richardson starting for him at corner. Dean Leonard, a 2nd-string cornerback, is also out. 2nd and 3. Here's Schwartz again. Popped and dropped by Jalen Jordan for a loss of 1.
Great anticipation on the outside. If you film on Auburn, you know it's usually either a deep shot or these quick throws to number 1 Anthony Schwartz. They love that. If you watch film, you can see the set, you see the formation, you can predict it. As soon as you see Bo Nix's eyes and shoulders, you make a great break on the ball. That's good film study, though.
Xavier Capers has to have that block. They love the young receiver. They feel like he's coming on, but that's a big block on the perimeter.
3rd down back, DJ Williams in the game with the fullback Shanker. Nix to the slant. Fantastic hands and a 1st down grab. That's Seth Williams, and that's what makes him so good. It's a pickup of 13.
He's a mismatch, right? You get man coverage here on a slant route, and Bo Nix does a great job of delivering an accurate football out in front. Something that we saw in the miscommunication last week, right? When they are on the sideline last week, Nix was behind on a throw to the left. That time, out in front and accurate for a 1st down.
Nix trying to stretch this one, and he'll scramble for 5 yards. That'll set up 2nd and 5. Where do you go if you're Auburn on 2nd and 5?
You got to get to run the football, right? You want to get into a situation where you're in, at worst, 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 2. Because 3rd and medium to a defense is a passing down. And Bo Nix is best when this run game's going and they have 2-way goes, pass or run, and the defense has to be balanced. Try to run the football here.
They do with Bigsby. And he does exactly what you said, and this will set up a 3rd and 1. Sam Williams in on the stop for Ole Miss.
Boy, I'd run it right back. I mean, you got to think that Bigsby's going to fall forward for 1 yard here.
Here's Tank. Picked up that nickname when he was just 2 years old. He had a propensity just to run over everything in the house.
I mean, if that's your nickname, you better fall down for at least 1, right?
Yeah, and he's got some fresh treads coming into this game. True freshman out of LaGrange, Georgia. Here's his 5th carry of this possession, and he's able to find the edge. But he's so good, Jordan, he can go around the edge. He can take it between the tackles. That's a big, strong freshman.
Yeah, he's going to need a blow after this one. A little breather for him. I mean, he runs so physical. One of the things we talked to Chad Morris about was early in the season, like, I try to slow him down. He's 100 miles an hour all the time, which you want.
And now Shivers enters, gives him a breather, and picks up a first down. And Auburn just dominating on the ground again. Brandon Council, beautiful pull and clear.
Good to see. This offense needs to run the football. They need this offensive line to be dominant. And that's what they're doing so far early in this game.
Nix going to pull it. Lowers his shoulder and gets up the sideline by going over A.J. Finley, who got the start at free safety, and it's a run of 9.
That's great coaching right there, right? A couple plays ago, they came out in a 4-by-0 set, 4 receivers to one side. And notice that on the short side, right, the opposite side, they didn't have great edge contained. So you come back to it. Line up with 3 receivers to one side. Now you run zone read weak. Athletic quarterback, great play design by Chad Morris.
It's Shivers this time, and he gets just one. That'll set up, well, actually, first down, pardon me. First and goal now. Momo Sonogo in on the stop for Ole Miss.
So important in the red zone for Auburn to be good on first down because they struggled in the red zone. And when they're not good on first down, they're forced into passing situations. They're throwing the ball for 54% of the time in the red zone so far because they haven't been able to run the ball effectively. Need to get good push here on first down.
13th play of the drive. They've already run it 9 times. Make it 10. Nix inside the 5 and gets forward before John Haynes threw him down. And Ole Miss thought they ripped the ball away.
Come back to the same zone read with Bo Nix. It's a good job. Look, the reads, you could have given it, and you're not wrong. But if you got an athlete at quarterback, you're okay with him saying, I can beat this guy one-on-one. And I think they're going to review that.
I think the good news there, Jordan, is that when Bo Nix pulls that football, the safety support is coming down to make the tackle. That's something that obviously you can utilize in the passing game later if that's how Ole Miss is going to play the run.
Mark Curls is our white hat today. Ken Switzer, our replay official. They'll take a look at this one, see if Nix was down when the ball came out. I got him down. Jordan?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that forearm, that elbow comes down. It didn't look like the ball was moving or even oscillating prior to that point. So,
wait a second. This is an early game for us. You're dropping off oscillating?
Tom, I just did SEC Nation for 2 hours. I got 4 cups of coffee in me. I'm ready to go. Get the vocab book out. Buckle up.
I haven't used the term oscillating since our air conditioner went out in '94. That's how the
you know what I mean, though. On fumbles, 100%. They're looking for any slight movement, right? On a play like this, you got to look for whether that ball even starts to lose control. Here he doesn't, but those are the small things they're going to look at in these replays to make sure they're 100% right.
Play selection on this drive heavy towards the run for Auburn. 14 plays, 10 of them on the ground.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Second down.
Second and goal now for the Tigers. Lane Kiffin, one of 5 SEC coaches, on his second turn around through the league with a different team. How about that? 5 of the active coaches, all with a new lease. This is the Lane train versus the Gus bus in this one, and Auburn knocking on the door.
89, J.J. Pegues, the 300-pound tight end on the left side of the offensive line.
Straight ahead, Tank Bigsby is in. It's a 4-yard touchdown run, and Auburn takes the lead thanks to the ground game.
And watch big 89. You ever see a tight end that's 300 pounds and athletic? Well, this is what you can do with them. You can pull them up and look at the lead block right there that sprung Tank Bigsby for the touchdown. I would love to see J.J. Pegues get more involved in this offense. He's too dangerous because he can catch the ball, he can run it, he can block just like that. And man, if you're Gus Malzahn or Chad Morris, how happy are you with that drive in the run game?
Oh, for a lot of different reasons. The point after for Carlson is good. It caps a 14. Takes over at quarterback. He's got Snoop Connor in the backfield with him. Here's Connor. Nothing on the left side. Auburn's defense all over it. That's Tyrone Truesdale. All right, what do you expect out of Plumlee versus Corral? How does this offense change?
Well, he might be the best athlete on the entire field, so I expect more designed quarterback runs, right? You see some of the zone read with Matt Corral, but I expect more downhill designed quarterback runs with Plumlee because he's pretty much a running back that can throw.
He set the Ole Miss freshman rushing record last season, ran for over 1,000 yards, and that was in 8 starts at quarterback. Sidearms one to the tight end, Yeboah. Great athleticism to haul it in, and that'll set up third and about medium. After a gain of 7 and an injured Auburn player on the play. Christian Tutt, who plays the star position in a linebacker. He was the one that brought Yeboah down, and Auburn already thin at the linebacking core. They're missing K.J. Britt, who had thumb surgery a couple of weeks ago. Britt, not only the best player on the defensive side for Auburn, but also a team leader, and now Tutt is out.
That's a big loss. Tutt plays in and around the line of scrimmage in the slot. A lot of those RPOs he's involved with. So you hope it's nothing serious and he can get back out there.
I think they only have 10 on the field defensively right now. Here's Plumlee straight ahead. Now they had 11, and he beat all 11 of them. John Rice Plumlee to the outside and brought down by a shoelace. It's a 35-yard sprint.
What a designed quarterback runs. This is a designed quarterback run to get him north and south, and look how dynamic he is with the football in his hands. He's as fast as anybody on the field, and his lateral agility is off the charts.
He was 8th in the country in rushing yards per game last year. Shows the fake, takes it straight ahead for a pickup of 4.
And look, when you have a quarterback that you can get downhill between the tackles, it gives the offensive line an extra hat. Right? You have an extra blocker at the point of attack because now the running back is not going in the opposite direction for his own read. He's now blocking for the quarterback.
He hands it off. This time it took a hit. That opened it up for Jarian Ely, also a teammate on the Ole Miss baseball team, both of them patrolling the outfield. That's legit speed. We call it.
They brought Corral back in with how much the offense was rolling for those few plays with Plumlee.
Corral pumps left, rolls right, and he's able to find Jarian Ely. And Ely's got maybe the first down.
Love the play call, though, right? You got a quarterback coming off an interception after 6 last week. Get him an easy throw, right? Get that confidence back.
It is a first down, so first and goal from the 10 now for the Rebels. Ely again. Little stiff arm, got the defender on the ground. High steps his way inside the 10 to pick up 3. Put Colby Wooden down with a stiff arm. And John Rice Plumlee back at quarterback for Ole Miss. Interesting shuffle for Lane Kiffin and offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby here. Straight ahead, Plumlee. Jamian Sherwood on the stop, a pickup of 1.
Boy, don't you think you can just go back to that 2 more times in a row? I mean, they're going to run Plumlee off here, but why? Right? The window's condensed down here in the red zone. You already have a quarterback that has 1 turnover. I would do that twice more and bet that you're getting in the end zone. See if they get him outside the pocket here.
They do. He throws into the end zone for a touchdown. A 6-yard strike to Elijah Moore.
There's not a better remedy for a quarterback than getting outside the pocket. Right? Get all those big boys out of the way, clear the mess, give you a clean vision, and your best receiver there, Elijah Moore, working in man coverage is exactly what you want. Big opportunity for Matt Corral to get some mojo, get some juice, get some confidence back, because Ole Miss will need it now. That's going to be a tie ball game.
It was interesting talking with Auburn defensive coordinator Kevin Steele in reference to Lane Kiffin. Said he calls plays like a Las Vegas gambler playing with house money. Well, that time he kept shuffling the deck. He used both quarterbacks throughout the entire drive.
And honestly, that might be the best identity for this Ole Miss offense, right? We saw it at times last year, but at times last year it was more John Rice Plumlee, and then when they had to throw the football, it was Matt Corral. So they got predictable. I think Lane Kiffin wants to see an offense where both can coexist and both can provide balance. I think that's what we saw on that drive, which is good news for Ole Miss after they struggled last week.
Well, when you got a weapon like Elijah Moore on the outside, that can make every quarterback look good. Look at the start. First 4 games, he's only 1 catch behind the great Amari Cooper and a handful of yards. That goes back to 1996. Elijah Moore has had 10 catches or more in all 4 games this season.
I mean, at some point you think a team's just going to go, like old school basketball. Let's box and one this guy, right? Put someone on him and zone coverage around him because you know where they want to go with the football, but no one's been able to solve that puzzle yet.
He was great against Florida. Had 10 catches for 227 yards. Muffed return by Bigsby. Scoops it up at the 10. Takes it out to the 20. Let's take a closer look at our protection spotlight, brought to you by Allstate.
If you're Auburn right now, think you're in the back of your mind thinking this game could be a shootout, so we need Bo Nix to provide some balance. And you see, one of the biggest problems is Nix not getting off his first option. Looks for Seth Williams. He's not there. There's 3 other options. Doesn't get to it. Drifts to find trouble and throws an interception. But the good of Bo Nix is the RPO game. Look at the athleticism here. Never moves his feet. Changes his arm angle to deliver a pass. That's the good Bo Nix. I need to see some more RPOs now that this run game is going like it was in the first quarter.
Last drive, 14 plays, 11 of them on the ground, including the last 9 consecutive. Here's Anthony Schwartz. So big picture, this Auburn offense, Jordan, what is it and what could it be?
Well, what is it? The identity is on the ground. Mixed in with some of these throws to Anthony Schwartz on the perimeter to horizontally stretch a defense. But in order to be elite, they got to be able to push the ball downfield, and that lays on Bo Nix.
And they do it with Shivers here, and he takes off for 14 yards. This is a game, the importance of which can't be overstated for Auburn. It's only a 10-game SEC schedule. You look at the back half of their schedule, and it is loaded. They come in here as slight favorites on the road against Ole Miss, a series that they have dominated. And you feel the heat on the stove getting turned up on this Auburn team as a whole in the program. Here's Shivers again. And Shivers is able to pick up another first down.
Well, these gap-scheme runs working well for Auburn. Watch pitch 56. Tayshawn Manning come around and just bulldoze an Ole Miss defender. Second consecutive play, he's had a big block around in this Auburn run game.
Quickly into Rebel territory under the direction of quarterback Bo Nix. Last year's SEC Freshman of the Year. He won the starting quarterback job in late August. Flips it out to Eli Stove here. And Stove is able to pick up 9.5 maybe. A.J. Finley forced him out. Nix last year became the first true freshman quarterback to start the Auburn opener since Travis Tidwell in 1946. Held on to the starting job throughout the season.
Correction, it is 2nd down.
And set an Auburn freshman record for passing with over 2,500 yards. Now he goes into year number 2 under coordinator Chad Morris, and they are much more reliant on the pass than they were. Although you wouldn't believe it by watching this game. On 2nd and 1, going backwards. It's a loss of 4.
You expect Bo Nix, because now it's his 2nd year, to take this big step, right? But you overlook the fact that it's a new system, right? You can't overlook the fact that new systems mean the learning curve is bumped back a little bit. And this is right about where we need to see, or should start to see, Bo Nix take that next step under a new offense.
Not only a new system, but a new offensive coordinator. Chad Morris said the key word when developing
here. Watch for
that relationship is trust. In the air to the slant, Seth Williams has a hurdle Wow, what a play by the junior, and it's a gain of 21.
I love this because that formation, that set, this scenario is usually a QB draw call, but look at the trust. Now twice, Bo Nix finding Seth Williams on a slant, and that's why you need to feed 18 as much as possible. There's not many people that are more dynamic with the ball in his hands, and I love the trust between offensive coordinator Chad Morris on a third down and his quarterback who struggled last week.
Setting up a screen to Stove this time, and the first man's able to bring him down. It's only one. Jamar Richardson, the junior defensive back, with the stop. On 2nd and 9, it's Bigsby. Pickup of 6.
Another tackle.
A lot of broken tackles. Cole's got an unofficial count going. Cole, what's the number on Tank Bigsby broken tackles in this one?
I'm keeping the tally down here on the field already. I got 6 broken tackles on the day for Tank Bigsby. I'll be rolling them up. Not a little device that the bouncer over at the library has, but we'll be keeping up with Tank Bigsby broken tackles today.
Thought maybe you borrowed that from Kevin Cash, pitch counter. Well, pressure from the edge. Nix keeps it right there, and he takes it inside the 5, replacing it where the pressure came from. It's a pickup of 10.
And a huge third down, right? You feel like this game is going to be blow, 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 right? Offense back and forth. Auburn keeping pace right here. They got to keep moving the chains on these third downs, and they got to be better down here in the low red zone, somewhere they've struggled so far this year.
10th play of the drive for Auburn. Nix keeps it, tucks it, and he finds the end zone. Zone read, and it's a 4-yard touchdown run for Nix.
It's a great read, and right now Ole Miss has no adjustment for these unbalanced sets. Auburn keeps putting receivers to one side and going zone read. It's great penetration here. Right off the edge. That's something Ole Miss does a ton. These rocket motions. In order to stop those, you got to have penetration.
Trey Butler with the stop. It leaves 2nd and 13. Plumlee fakes the toss. That's one way to read the end, huh? Got Big Cat Bryant to take a step left, and he blew by him for a gain of 8.
The creativity that Ole Miss has in their packages to run the quarterback is vast. And now you're going to see him come off a third down situation. You want to get your quarterback that throws the football better in the game. We're going to see a lot of those guys back and forth tonight.
3rd down 5 for Corral. This is Drummond in motion. Pocket holds, nice touch pass. He finds Drummond, and Ontario Drummond has an Ole Miss first down, brought down by McCreary.
And these are the throws that were not there for Ole Miss last week because of zone coverage. You play a team that has more man, now you can run to grass and get more matchups in space.
Flip to the outside to Braylon Sanders, and he's able to get forward for 5.
Here comes the tempo of Ole Miss. I thought the most interesting conversation we had yesterday was with offensive coordinator Jeff Levy and also Lane Kiffin about how they call plays.
Touch pass for the sweep for Moore, and it goes back to Levy's Baylor days, and Lane told us he was intrigued by some of the details in the play calling.
Yeah, you just saw right there Elijah Moore get up and hand the ball to the ref. But that's not good enough. You got to hand it to the right ref, the one that spots the ball. Don't hand it to another guy who has to toss it to another ref in order to spot it. That's how they go so quick.
Straight ahead, Snoop Connor. Lane also told us he was infatuated with the idea that in this Art Briles designed offense going back to the Baylor days 10, 15 years ago, that they have the ability to call plays based on where the players ended up on the previous play, so you don't have to switch sides. You keep the wide receivers on the same side of the field.
Yeah, all of offensive coordinator Jeff Levy's play calls are either boundary or field calls.
Plumlee back in the game, hands off to Ely. He gets 2.
You don't have time to change a formation in your head as an offensive coordinator or flip a play. So he's got to have a play ready, whether it's on the boundary, on the left, on the field, wherever it is, to dial it up within a few seconds.
On 2nd and 8, Ely. And it's a gain of 3. Owen Papo the stop.
This is a big third down here. Big third down. You can see we're already ticking down towards 5 minutes left in the second half. This game is going fast. Both these teams are running the football effectively. Ole Miss wants to keep this close or tie it up going into half. They'd love to control the football for the rest of this half.
They'll throw it on 3rd and 5. Corral swings his hips and swings it incomplete to Mingo. You expect the offense to stay on the field for Ole Miss, facing a 4th and 5. They go for it a lot, and that is usually indicated by the third down play caller.
And the analytics right now says if you have 4th and 6 or less from this point in the field, you go for it. So they knew that in the back of their head when they called a pass play on 3rd down, knowing they were going to go for it even on an incompletion on 4th.
A lot of motion and movement. They send Sanders back outside. Play clock at 1. It'll take a timeout.
It's something they talk about on every 3rd down.
It's no different than the rules at the blackjack table that tell you when to hit or not based on what the dealer's showing. Corral in at quarterback with Snoop Connor behind him.
They got man coverage. Watch up top. Elijah Moore on a switch route. They got man coverage, going to try to create space there.
Looking that way. Corral lobs it. That is complete for a first down to Elijah Moore.
It's just a great job. You see man coverage, you stack your receivers, you have your best receiver back, which means he's got more green grass to work with. You put him on an option route. He's going to win that matchup every single time on Christian Tutt, now back in the game from an injury earlier.
Corral trying to dial one deep. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Will get pass interference. Nehemiah Pritchett. Braylon Sanders, the intended receiver.
It's only a matter of time before they took a shot. Really the first deep shot we've seen.
Pass interference, number 13, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Auburn was flagged for 3 pass interference penalties last week against South Carolina. This is the first flag for either team today.
Look, one thing you got to think about, it's raining out there, right? That annoying mist. The ball's a little wet. These balls are going to hang up in the air a little longer than normal. So if you're DB, you have to turn and find it. You're going to expect the ball quicker. It's not going to be there. That's when you get into contact with the receiver and get a flag.
Corral had the first 2 possessions at quarterback for Ole Miss, and after an interception, he's been swapping playing time with John Rice Plumlee. Corral harassed in the pocket, stays alive. He's able to flick it and find Drummond. Taken out of bounds just short of the marker with a gain of 8. Daquan Newkirk almost got to him in the backfield.
Wow. I mean, look at the athleticism. Ability to escape, keep his eyes downfield.
They need 2. Connor finds 1, brought down inbounds.
Boy, it looked like the right side of the offensive line there moved a little early.
No flag, they play on, going for tempo here. On 3rd and 1. Connor.
Gonna get back to the line of scrimmage here quick.
Announces a first down. This will be the 14th play of the drive. A lot of motion and traffic in that backfield. A handoff to Ely going straight ahead. Talking to Lane Kiffin about tempo and the ideal number of plays, he said, I don't care about number of plays. All I care about is scoring. You give me a 1-play scoring drive, I'd take that every time. Here's Ely again to the 5.
And that's the thing. Too often you get fascinated with numbers and explosive plays in this type of offense. Look, you got to score points, right?
3rd and short. A walk-in for Corral. 5-yard touchdown run. His first touchdown run of the Tank Bigsby with the return. Yeah, nice to have him back. Fashionably late. See if Pac-12 makes it through the doorway here in a couple of weeks, and they're able to join us. 3:28 to go in the first half. Auburn and Ole Miss tied at 14.
And I think if you're Gus Malzahn, you just had to have a conversation right before Bo Nix goes out on the field to remind him situations. You got 3 timeouts, 3.5 minutes left. You want to be smart with the football, right? Don't force anything. A negative play is better than a turnover.
Here's DJ Williams running behind big J.J. Pegues, the 300-pound tight end. It's a pickup of 8.
Yeah, look, and they got J.J. Pegues split up top there now at a wide receiver position.
And he's blocking on the edge for Kobe Hudson, who stopped just short. We'll have 3rd and 1 now. That is a big old boy on the edge.
And he's going to go out right now, but we asked Chad Morris about him yesterday. He's 300 pounds, so he's like an athletic offensive lineman, but don't be surprised if we see him catch a football today. Chad Morris wants his tight ends more involved in the pass game and take some pressure off Bo Nix, so moving forward, that's something to watch.
And he's an Oxford native out of Oxford High School. Here's Bigsby, first down run for Auburn. It was interesting, we're talking with the Ole Miss linebacker, Jaquez Jones, and we asked him about Pegues, and he said, yeah, I didn't know he was from Oxford. How'd we let that get out? You see big number, right. 89 moving to the wing on the left side. Led Oxford High School to the 6A state championship, the first in school history. Bigsby cuts off of his hip, but no gain.
And right now, Ole Miss is saying, fool me once, that's fine, but you're not going to do it again. They're stacking their defense around the line of scrimmage. When Auburn goes to those unbalanced set with receivers to one side, they're making sure they have a safety overhang to stop Bo Nix from beating them with his legs the couple times we've seen that. So what will Auburn's answer be? Right? We've seen a lot of perimeter throws. We've seen a lot of runs. Do they take a shot to push the ball down the field at any point here?
Bigsby straight ahead. Nice moving through traffic. He's able to pick up 6. This is an Ole Miss defense, which is last in the country in points allowed, surrendering 40.
Jeff Levy actually listened to Lane Kiffin and getting John Rice Plumlee.
I think they follow each other on Twitter, I think is the case. See it happen.
It's all social media these days. Bo Nix 8 of 9 through the air for 56 yards. He's run one in. Minute and a half left in the second quarter. 3rd down 4. That's Schwartz in motion, the speedster. 4 receivers to the left side. And they go underneath to Schwartz. We'll see if he got it. First down Auburn, 1:23 and counting.
And
Tigers have 3 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, still got a lot of time. You got those 3 timeouts. Go at your pace. And remember, field goal range for Auburn is not your typical range, right? Anders has a huge leg, so really need about 15 here to be comfortable for field goal range.
Let a lot of time tick off there, and a tackle made in the backfield. Auburn will have to use a timeout here with a minute to go.
Yeah, now you call that timeout.
It was Sam Williams with the stop in the backfield. It was about 25 seconds off the clock. Well, we have a break in the action. Let's throw it to Laura Rutledge and our friends at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hey, have you seen Marty?
What do you think of Gus Malzahn's game plan in this one, Joe? Jordan?
Joe
Joe?
would be the fiance. I'm Jordan. You know, I think it's been great so far. He's committed to running the football. I will say, in this scenario, I would like to see a little more aggression at the end of the half here, especially because you have those timeouts. But now in a situation where you do need to pick up 15, 17 yards to get in field goal range. So I think throwing the football comes back into the equation, even here on 2nd and long.
They put a couple of seconds back on the clock.
You can call me Joe.
Sure. I mean, you'd answer to anything.
Yeah, because I'm the only other one here on this Zoom call.
That's right. You never know. You may always have lurkers. Second and 12 now for Nix.
Seth Williams down here at the bottom of the screen with a lot of green grass towards the sideline.
Nix 9 of 10 through the air. Flushed. Gets up the sideline. He's going to run out of bounds with 52 seconds left. It's an 8-yard run.
And this is great, right? I mean, you heard me pregame. I've said it. Bo Nix has been leaving the pocket unwarranted this year. 2 times already this game, he has escaped pressure and made a play with his legs. That's what you need out of Bo Nix.
Three-man rush. Nix is going to scramble again. Gets taken down out of bounds. He got taken down way out of bounds deep into the Ole Miss bench. Loses 3 yards.
And this is situational football, right? Something that we saw Nix struggle with at the end of last game. Getting a penalty for intentional grounding, going out of bounds here, losing a couple yards. I mean, you got to throw this one away, especially when you're flirting with field goal range and a makeable kick here with the conditions being a little wet. 1 or 2 yards is really important, and that may be the difference.
Instead of Carlson, they're going to go with Oscar Chapman, the freshman, to punt it away here, 4th and 7. Elijah Moore back to receive. And that'll get out of bounds right at the 10. Beautiful punt that time from Chapman. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate.
That's the thing right there, 2 or 3 yards, it's still a really long field goal, so probably not where you want to be if you're Auburn, but just not great game mechanics there. Not great end of the half mechanics there, and you leave Ole Miss with a timeout, 36 seconds. Look, you don't want to throw an interception here. You don't want to turn the ball over, so I expect a safe play by Ole Miss. Something on the ground or a quick screen to try to get a drive going, see if you can get a big chunk play, but if not, go to half and be happy with a tie ball game.
Got Jarian Ely in the backfield next to Matt Corral. A little bit of a high snap, pump one way. Here's Ely out of the backfield. They're blocking on the edge. And Ely brought down inbounds. Owen Papo, it's a gain of 2. And they don't need to snap it again.
Yeah, those are tester plays, right? If that ends up, going for 20 or 25, then you get to the ball quick and you try to take a shot, with a timeout. But instead, just be happy going to half. Playing a cleaner game than they did last week. I mean, if you're Ole Miss, you feel good about where you're at right now, having stopped Auburn from getting points at the end of the half.
End of the second
and after
quarter.
1 half of play, right back to where we started. Auburn 14, Ole Miss 14. Busy day in college football. Big Ten's back, SEC going strong. Let's get you to the studio. Peter Burns and the gang will take you through with all sorts of halftime entertainment.
Thank you, Tom. We have tricks. Gene Chizik brought out his good pocket square. I mean, we'll do everything to keep you entertained. Chris Doring alongside Peter Burns here as well here on the Farm Ridge Halftime Report. 14-14, no uppercuts and no heavyweight knockouts, but a couple of jabs, Coach. What did you think of the game plan for the Tigers?
I like the game plan. They're making a concerted effort to run the football. Why wouldn't you? This defense gives up 265 yards on the ground. But I like the way they're doing it, CD. They're doing it with Tank Bigsby up inside. He's got a lot of yards after contact. He's a guy that they've recognized can carry the ball, 20 times a game easily. But then they're mixing it up with Bo Nix on the perimeter and how he's running the football, keeping it on some zone reads, on some design quarterback runs. And then in the pass game with Bo Nix, I like what they're doing with him, CD as well, because it's high percentage, easy access throws. Let him get the ball out quick. He started 8 for 9, and he needs that confidence.
I mean, everything you just said about Auburn's game plan and about what they needed to do for Bo Nix is what you could say about what Ole Miss needed to do for Matt Corral and that offense. After throwing 6 interceptions last week, you kind of felt like Matt Corral felt like he needed to carry the load. He needed to make every play. As we went back and watched the tape against Arkansas, there were times where he needed to be more patient. So today, the message they sent, PB, is that, hey, we're going to run the football. We've run it 27 times, had a lot of success against Auburn's defense. We're throwing the football a little more conservatively. We're not asking you to throw the football down the field. And they certainly did a nice job of inserting John Rice Plumlee in the game. This is a guy that has elite speed, and yet they haven't utilized that speed well enough to this point in time. So I think they've done a nice job of inserting him a little bit. And then the touchdown drive there, huge. I thought the finish at the end of the half, PB, you get a touchdown on a 16-play, 78-yard drive. You get a defensive stop, one that you haven't got a lot of success on that side of the ball, and you go into halftime tied up when you haven't really played exceptionally in the first half.
We also knew that was going to be the case. We saw Lane's tweet earlier before the game saying, hey, I hope Coach Levy puts this guy in. Of course, it was a picture of John Rice.
Made Ole Miss pay big time on the ground.
9 of 10 through the air for 60 yards after a 24 for 47 performance with 3 picks last week against South Carolina.
And that's who Bo Nix needs to be. Efficient through the air, dangerous on the ground, and when Auburn runs the football, everything clicks.
Tank Bigsby running the football, and the kick return breaks through the kicker. We got a flag on the play, and Bigsby takes it to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and to the end zone if it stands. A 100-yard return and a pose for the freshman.
Wow. I mean, that's probably going to come back, but holy, I enjoyed that. Cole needs to add a couple more clicks to that counter he's got, because there was at least 2 broken tackles by Tank Bigsby. I mean, what a play. It's going to come back, but man.
Number 21, return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty at the outset of this return, back at the 26-yard line. Behind the play, number 21 on number 28.
I don't know, Tom. That?
I added 2 clicks, Jordan. I don't know. Do you take those back?
Yeah.
Do you subtract them now?
No. Don't take those back.
All right, we got 9. We're up to 9. There's the clicker. We got it.
Hey, this is not like, Guinness World Records official here. We're just counting some broken tackles. We don't need to be exact.
Gus Malzahn didn't like the call on Smoke Monday, who got whistled for the hold. Takes 6 off the board. Sean Shivers in the backfield. Physical run gets him 2. Almost Sanogo with the stop.
Ole Miss is going to come out in this second half and force Bo Nix to beat them, right? I mean, that's got to be the game plan. If you come out, you got to, if you're DJ Durkin, you got to sell out against the run. As you can see, there's 6, 7, 8 guys in and around the box right now.
Shivers, doesn't matter, running right through that box and on the outside to pick up an Auburn first down.
And that just can't happen, right? I mean, when you stack 7, 8 guys in and around the line of scrimmage, you have to have contain. That's the most important part. They lose contain to the boundary there, and Shivers makes them pay for it. So if I'm DJ Durkin, I continue to walk down guys into the box and make Bo Nix push the ball downfield to beat you.
Out to Schwartz. Got a step, and he takes it past the 40, past A.J. Finley for a pickup of 9.
Interesting part about that as well, if you start to force these quarterbacks to play the position, it's been wet the entire first half. That means those footballs now are saturated, right? Early on, that leather soaks up a little bit of it. The second half, these balls are heavier, they're wet, they're slick.
Pressure up the middle. Shivers runs right past it, and he weaves his way to a first down on a pickup of 8.
I tell you
Jordan,
what,
I've been so impressed by the vision of these Auburn running backs, whether it's Shivers or Bigsby. They don't just run through guys, they run around them.
No, and it's been a great job, as I was just going to tee Cole up on. This offensive line is moving guys. I mean, yeah, the running backs have had great vision. They've broken a couple tackles, but, man, there are offensive linemen 6, 7, 8 yards downfield on some of these runs.
Well, and I love the plan, too, to mix up the gap scheme and the zone scheme stuff as well. That way you don't allow defenders to be able to sort of tee off and plan ahead and try to get a jump on what blocking scheme you're going to utilize up front. And then the quick throws obviously make those defensive linemen run sideline to sideline.
Got a question for you, Cole, after the 2nd and 10 play. Bigsby. Simplify it. What's the difference between gap scheme and zone scheme?
So a gap scheme run right there, you just get a couple of offensive linemen that block down, and then you're going to pull guys around. So a counter would be backside tackle, backside guard. Center blocks down, front side guard and tackle block down. Those backside guard and tackles pull around. You're trying to get outside. Now you can have a counter kick where you try to kick a guy out and then take it inside. A zone scheme, that's basically everybody's just taking a step to the left or a step to the right. You can go inside or outside depending on the width that you want, and it should be able to pick up anything. So zone, more of a field play. Running back has to have patience. He can see it develop late. Gap scheme, you know exactly where you're going and you're going to get pullers.
4 wide here with Shivers in the backfield, 3rd and 9. You have spy on Nix, sideline shot, juggled and incomplete. Fantastic break on the ball in the secondary, and one that was designed for Capers, and A.J. Finley made a nice play.
And if you're Ole Miss, this is exactly what you want. Force them into long 3rd down situations. This is an errant decision and an errant throw by Bo Nix. It's raining. He's not getting as much velocity as he's used to on that throw, and he almost just threw one right to A.J. Finley.
Nix had 11 consecutive completions before that miss. Clean uni for Oscar Chapman on 4th and 9. Elijah Moore awaits. That one went right through his hands. Chapman can't get it away. And Ole Miss will take over inside the 25.
Boy, and the snap was a little high, but I mentioned those footballs have been getting rained on the entire first half. They don't have enough footballs to switch out and have brand new dry footballs for the second half, so it is slick. You're going to see it in quarterbacks, receivers, and here a big critical mistake on a special teams play to give Ole Miss great field position and a chance to go up early in this second half.
Long snapper Bill Taylor was hoping his name wasn't going to get mentioned in this one. John Rice Plumlee will direct the offense to start the second half. Short field for Ole Miss from the 25. Plumlee brought down. Cole, what did Lane say at the half?
Well, I was interested, guys. He said that the defense came out exactly what they saw last week, only rushing 3, kind of dropping 8. Also said that when John Rice Plumlee comes into the game, going back to more of an even front, said we need to run them out of that and obviously still continue to get the pass game going here in the second half. Plans to play both quarterbacks.
Here's the even front again with Plumlee in the game. And Jarian Ely finds a couple of yards. That'll bring up 3rd and 7. They are unpredictable from a conventional standpoint on 3rd down.
Yeah, think about it like this. The book says if they get to 4 yards on 4th down, right? If it's 4th and 4 or less, they're going to go for it. So on this, instead of a normal team on 3rd down saying I need 7 or 8, this, they're just trying to pick up 2 or 3. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a run here.
Exactly what to do with the quarterback, straight ahead. And he finds 2. Not exactly what they wanted to stay on pace, but it's not a bad 3rd down play for what Ole Miss is going to do.
And this is where it gets interesting. The book will tell you, right? The analytics here will tell you to kick it, right? Because you're outside of that 4-yard range on 4th and 5. Let's see. I think that's what Lane Kiffin's going to do. That's one of those moments, though, that he talked about occasionally. He said, we're about 90, 95%. He says, sometimes I'm thinking about momentum. Here, he's thinking, I got to get the lead, right? I want to get the lead to start this second half.
37-yard attempt for Luke Logan. And they're going to fake it. Logan trying to find the edge. He will not. It's a loss of 4. And they got J.J. Pegues, a 300-pound tight end, split out to the near side. Straight ahead, Shivers. Tank Bigsby couldn't quite get away from Lakia Henry.
tell you what, just because my offensive mind is thinking now, we've seen twice that J.J. Pegues has gone out and blocked in those stack formations. Auburn loves to run a play where they fake that block and the point man on the line of scrimmage runs a slant. They've done it a couple times. I'm just saying, if they come back to that at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to throw J.J. the ball.
Bigsby on 2nd and 8, tried to hang a U-turn, picked up only one. Sonogo another stop. He's been busy.
Big third down here to try to change field position, right? The goal for every offense is to get at least 2 first downs so you can change field position, right? When it's raining, it's sloppy weather, you want to make Ole Miss drive the length of the field. So 3rd and 7 here. Ole Miss is going to sit back and play coverage. Bo Nix has got to make a smart decision with the football, not panic. His last time out, he almost threw an interception.
Nix 11 for 13 through the air. Pressure coming. Steps up, going to try to run for it. And he's brought down a half-yard short. And that'll bring up 4th and 1 from the 34. Jaquez Jones, big stop on 3rd down. Auburn's offense staying on the field here. And now they'll bring the punt team on.
You know, it's interesting. Gus is not an analytics guy, right? He said it yesterday. We were talking. He said it's a little overrated. The book here would have said to go for it on 4th and 1 with an
Bill
even
Taylor,
ball
the
game.
center, using his towel before this snap. The last one sailed over the head of Oscar Chapman.
I did like Gus's response to Jordan, saying that he likes to have a feel for his team. Every team's different.
Another one a little bit high. Chapman able to handle it. Beautiful punt. Now Moore fumbles it away. Able to fall on it at the 10-yard line. Cole, it seems they're playing this one in a quagmire. I didn't think it was raining that much.
It's just been a steady drizzle, kind of a steady, slight rain the entire day. So everything is just a little bit wet. It's gotten pretty slick out here. The dew's sitting on top of the grass. I picked up a couple different footballs at halftime. Obviously, like Jordan said, a little bit heavier, a little bit damp, but it's that annoying rain. It's just that it's that constant, not heavy, not a total downpour, but everything is slick.
Matt Corral, 10 of 13. 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Plumlee played the last series at quarterback. And he's got Snoop Connor in the backfield next to him to start this drive. Adjustments for Ole Miss before the snap. Connor finds room on the edge, and a first down run for the Rebels.
And here comes the pace right behind it, but I think both these teams will be content keeping the ball on the ground, especially when you're getting the kind of push that Auburn's getting as well as Ole Miss right now. Auburn trying to get lined up to this one.
Corral looking for that slant. Instead, the wheel route. Down the sideline, plenty of room for Kenny Yeboah. And the tight end stays on his feet. Got a block, and Yeboah rumbles his way for a 61-yard gain.
You add tempo, which is from the Baylor tree, right? That type of spread offense with tempo to the problem plays, the pre-snap motion that Lane Kiffin is so well known for. That's what creates conflict for the secondary. A great job of motioning Kenny Yeboah from one side to the other with tempo and a play action. That's how you get guys that wide open.
Injured player was Christian Tutt, down for Auburn for the second time in this one. Kevin Steele said we're prepared for the tempo. There's only a couple of things they can do out of it. One of the specific routes that he mentioned they have to protect is the wheel route, and it torched them there for 60-plus yards.
And it's responsibilities. They don't. 20 rolls back to the middle. He's wrong. Now you have an opening downfield for a wide open tight end. That's the problems that motions and formations create when the tempo is as fast as Ole Miss is running right now.
Officially 60 yards for the transfer from Temple University, Kenny Yeboah, native of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Corral and Connor in the backfield for Ole Miss. Another huge opportunity. Rebels' last drive ended on a fake field goal. Went for naught. Corral's got it. Nobody sees him. He'll get his second rushing touchdown of the game.
Boy, just no contain today for either of these teams, really. Contain has been really poor. You've seen Bo Nix get out on the edge untouched, and now for a second time, Corral just on a simple zone read. There's nothing crazy about that. No motions, no shifts. They lined up in it. It's just bad contain on the outside and a well-blocked, well-executed play by Matt Corral.
First lead of the day for the Rebels. Luke Logan for the point after. Inside the upright. It's a touchdown lead. Another look at Matt Corral. He didn't have a single rushing touchdown on the season, and he takes it in for the second time in this one.
Just bad eyes. Bad eyes by the linebackers. Again, the conflict that Ole Miss puts you in. They run receivers down like it's going to be a pass play, but it's not. They were doing this the entire way, but you steal eyes. Ooh, and a little late action there by McClain.
Yeah.
A little frustration there from the Auburn linebacker. Hey, you think Matt Corral's got some of his swagger back?
I don't think Matt Corral ever lost his swagger.
True.
He walked into the meeting room on Sunday, and Lane greeted him with the same tweet that he sent out, said, hey, at least you didn't set the record for interceptions in a game. And Corral kind of looked at his offensive coordinator, Jeff Levy, was like, is this dude serious? I loved it when we were talking to him about his social media. He said, I don't want your sympathy. The only thing that makes me mad on social media is if you say that you feel sorry for me.
And I love that attitude. And I was going to say, like, how important it is as a quarterback to have a head coach that has some levity, some humor, can take things lightly, right? You don't have to worry. As a quarterback, you start making mistakes, and you're so worried about getting yelled at on the sideline or disappointing your coach. Yeah, he disappointed Lane Kiffin last week, but Kiffin's got so much trust that it didn't affect Corral the same way it maybe would other quarterbacks that have a different relationship with their head coach.
Fumble return by Tennyson, able to find it again outside of the 10. Let's get you to the studio. Here's PB.
Thank you, Tom. Let's go outside the footprint. Remember, Nebraska got off to a 7-0 start over Ohio State, and then it's been all Justin Fields after this. Right there, scramble. He ends up scoring 31-14. All Buckeyes right now in Comoe.
Nice of him to decide to play football up north. Tank Bigsby in the backfield next to Nix. Pressure from the left. Throws right. And through the hands of Seth Williams.
And Auburn's going to have to find a way to create concepts to get Seth Williams and Anthony Schwartz open. Because right now, as I mentioned, Ole Miss's plan is to stack the box. Stop the run. Make Auburn one-dimensional.
They run straight ahead. Bigsby, maybe another click on Cole's counter, picks up 6. Sanogo, another stop. That's his 6th tackle of the game.
This is exactly where Ole Miss wants Auburn, right? First play of the game, of the drive, you stack the box, you stop the run. Get him in a second long, you can play zone, keep things in front of you. Small gain, now you get him into a third and medium, which is a passing situation. Now you can decide if you want to bring pressure on Bo Nix, or what I think they're going to do is just drop and play coverage and keep eyes on Bo Nix.
A lot of confusion for Ole Miss's defense. Sanogo running back and forth and directing traffic. Empty backfield, 3-man rush. Quick hitter. Williams takes it to the 24 for a first down.
And a good play design, really good play design. The confusion was because of the bunch set, right? Anytime an offensive coordinator starts to put receivers close together, that causes problems for communication on the defensive side.
Here's Eli Stove. And he's finally brought down by Jalen Jordan. The first man there is a number that people may not have expected to see on defense, number 4. That's Tylen Knight. the junior from Pearl, Mississippi, who was a running back a week ago. And DJ Durkin said, I love what he brings to the table. We need some bodies on that side. He's going to play, and he's showing blitz here. He'll come. And it's Bigsby running out of tackles on the right side. $5:20 to go in the third quarter. UFC 254 main card starting 5 minutes ago on ESPN+. Undercard already underway. Real fight about 5 o'clock. Khabib, the lightweight champ, undefeated 28-0.
I can't wait for that. I'm going to get on my couch. I'm going to have some football on and the fight at the same time. It'll be a good Saturday night.
Third flex with the couch. Here's Williams. Nothing doing, no gain. Lakia Henry, along with Jamar Richardson, take him down.
It shouldn't be a problem that some of these quick throws don't work, but go back to what Jordan said earlier in the broadcast. You have to stack at some point, pump it, and take the shot down the field off of it. Ole Miss obviously attacking. You would think something might be there at the second or third level.
Schwartz, bottom of the formation. Their best deep threat. Seth Williams at the top of the formation, also a threat. Rebels bring pressure from the edge again. Nix to the slant. Pickup of 6. Like that recognition?
That's unbelievable. This is so good to see out of Bo Nix because it's something he hasn't done well this year, is identify where the blitz is coming and throw hot. There was no indecision. He saw it. He threw the slant to replace it. That is playing quarterback. That is playing the position from the pocket, which is what this Auburn team needs out of 10. Great to see. Huge third down here.
On 3rd and 2, they run it with Bigsby. He's got the first down and plenty more. Into Ole Miss territory with a 19-yard punishing run.
This is one of those points in a game that's an inflection point, right? If Ole Miss comes up with a stop, they have momentum on offense, they get the ball back with a chance to go up 2 scores. Instead, you break off a huge run with Tank Bigsby to flip field position and get some momentum up. It's not a bad thing at all. I love the competition. I love the fire between those two.
Bo Nix has been on the money in this one, 16 of 19 for 121 yards. That was the first deep shot either team has taken. Anders Carlson to put it in the air. Healy and Parrish back for Ole Miss. And no return. So the pendulum swings again. Do the Rebels have an answer?
The recipe for Ole Miss doesn't change, right? You've been running the football effectively. The zone read and Matt Corral has been money every time you've dialed it up. And continue to get the ball in space on the perimeter to your playmakers. They haven't needed to take shots, which is surprising, right? This team has predicated their offense on taking deep shots. Couldn't do it last week because of the type of defense. This week they are getting more man coverage, but they're running the football effectively, so they haven't needed it.
California native Matt Corral takes the snap. Here's Jerry and Ely. And Ely's moving dudes out of the way and carrying the pile with him. Another 10 yards. That was amazing. It's a 15-yard run.
And a little hint or a little show of the cards by Lane Kiffin and Jeff Levy. They're in 12 personnel now, which means they have 2 tight ends in the football game. You see on the left side of your screen.
2 players moving
And Lane said last week, my biggest mistake is we got in 12 personnel and we didn't continue to run the football. This week, that's the recipe. Be physical. They're winning between the tackles.
Illegal shift on Ole Miss will wipe that run off, but your point still stands, even though they switch it up here and go 4 wide. Just about even in the rushing category for both sides. First flag against Ole Miss in this game. Ely trying to find the edge. Big Cap Bryant tracks him down.
That's the value of Christian Tutt right there. Can play in the slot, not afraid to come up and play the run, eludes a blocker, goes low, gets a running back down near the line of scrimmage. Just a very versatile DB for Kevin Steele.
No sweep. This is Corral again. 9-yard run that time.
And Auburn's given a lot of cushion on the outside. If they want it, the short throws are there.
This is
Ely finds a first down.
This is the look that Lane Kiffin referenced to me at halftime, Jordan, saying they're coming out in something very similar that they did a week ago. We're not going to be able to get those deep shots, have to be patient, and then said we want to run them out of it. Obviously wants to get them back into a different look where they can have more success with Matt Corral through the air.
Testing the edge again. Elijah Moore to the 40. What about the snap between center Ben Brown and Matt Corral? A little non-conventional.
Yeah, I love this. So see how he's holding the point of the ball. Usually these centers hold it like you would if you were going to throw a football. Well, they've had trouble with accuracy, with velocity, so they changed to this because you get a knuckleball. Look how the ball doesn't change. The tip stays up north and south. It's easier for the quarterback to catch. It's easier for the center to be consistent with.
And allowed you to get the ball off quickly, and that was a major drop for Mingo. Would have been a first down, and he would have still been running.
And that was what I was about to say. When you catch the ball like that, instead of catching the point, if they spiral it back to you, when you catch the belly of it, you catch it how you throw it. So a quarterback can get it out quicker, as we saw right there, just a drop on the outside by Mingo.
Corral running for his life now. Can't get rid of it. And he gets taken down in the backfield. A sack and a loss of 4. Smoke Monday.
And Big Cat Bryant really got penetration here to force this back inside. They want to get out on the edge, but Bryant beats number 72 there, Royce Newman, and blows that play up. But it's good to have, if you're Auburn, you're happy that Big Cat Bryant is back as close to 100% as he can be. He wasn't quite there last week, even though he was on the field.
Yeah, they really missed him. Mac Brown set to punt it away. Got a flag. The other Mac Brown has his North Carolina team leading NC State 24-7 right now.
Disregard the flag. There is no foul. There are 11 players on the field. Fourth down.
Wow, Auburn almost got that one. Eli Stove from the 13. 8 yards on the return after a fine punt that goes 50 yards. Let's take a look at Auburn's last drive.
Yeah, I love what they did with J.J. Pegues, the big 300-pound tight end. Look at that block. Bam! Get out of the way. And Tank Bigsby's been running the football successfully all game. And how about that? When you need a shot, when no one's been able to hit one, Seth Williams comes down with the 50-50 ball, and Auburn punches it in. Picture-perfect drive starting on the ground for Auburn. I expect them to get right back to that.
I thought Williams was in on that catch. They ruled him down at the 1. It didn't matter. Auburn punched it in a play later. Here's Tank Bigsby. All right, PB, thanks. That game was postponed against Vandy. They'll make it up in December. SEC Network presented by Allstate as we start the fourth quarter. 2 yards on the ground for Bigsby. By the way, outside the footprint, as Peter called it earlier, Clemson struggling against Syracuse by only 6 midway through the third quarter at the other Death Valley.
Backed up here, third and a medium, 4 yards or so. Do you trust your quarterback to throw the football, who had 3 interceptions last week? I believe this fourth quarter is going to be decided by a turnover. With an empty backfield, it's either a quarterback run or they are throwing.
3-man rush. They're spying on Nix again. He finds Seth Williams. It's a first down and plenty more. Ole Miss is using one of their go ahead.
I was just going to they haven't adjusted to that play yet, right? 3 receivers, the second time on third down, they found Seth Williams on the same play.
You're seeing the threat for Nix to run and how it's also occupying a linebacker for Ole Miss. That last play is Ashanti Sistrunk. It's essentially taking him out of coverage. Pegues motions way out. He's the lead blocker here for Schwartz. Got enough of his man, and Schwartz, see where they mark it. Kedron Smith on the tackle. Just short. Second and about a foot. Tank Bigsby straight ahead. What a job of that Auburn offensive line. And Bigsby's got the first down on a pickup of 9.
And they brought J.J. Pegues across the line of scrimmage here again to try to get a big block. He doesn't need to this time. When you're 300 pounds, sometimes you just get someone to run around you. He did come up with a little bit of a hobble there.
You ever been driving down the interstate and there's a double wide moving down the road with an oversized load car front and behind? It's impossible to get around those things.
That's what it's like with Pegues.
Play clock at 6. Nix has it. He's got a blocker in front of him. Shanker paves the way, and Bo Nix runs for a first down.
It's just been the story of the game, right? I mean, Bo Nix has looked like a different quarterback because the short throws have been managed, right? Designed to get his eyes to one spot and let him release the football so he's not guessing, he's not getting lost in coverage and scrambling like we've seen. And using his legs has given him confidence.
Hit to the outside for Stove, and it hit the ground incomplete. And that had the potential for a huge play.
Yeah, watch his feet here. Just falling away. Look, that's a designed run play. So he looks at the line of scrimmage or the box, and he sees an extra Ole Miss defender. So he's deciding, without telling the offensive line or the running back, that I'm going to throw it. But as a quarterback, you got to go left foot first, then right foot to get your back foot in the ground so you can drive off with more velocity. That time he backpedaled away from it, didn't get enough juice on the ball.
And it was actually complete, but Stove's knee was on the ground. Ends up being a loss of 2. 2nd and 12. And a drop. And another big drop. That one up the hands of Kobe Hudson. And that will leave 3rd and long for Auburn.
That's like 2 drops, I think, already this game. That's 17 on the year for Auburn, most in the SEC. Now 3rd and 12. Huge down. Again, I talked about trust. Does Chad Morris trust his quarterback to put the ball in the air, or are they going to play it safe and keep it on the ground? Got man coverage on the outside. If you want it, it's there.
Loading up on the right side of that offensive line. Jordan probably thinking he's going to roll to the right.
Play clock at 3. At 1. Snap off, 3-man rush. Nix escapes the pocket, completes it, and Shanker takes it for a first down. John Samuel Shanker, the junior tight end, with his first catch, and it's a huge one.
And actually, Ole Miss didn't bring pressure, but just with 3 was able to get pressure on Nix enough to get him outside the pocket. But man, keep your eyes up if you're a quarterback. And he does just that to find 47 Shanker for a first down. That's a big play when they needed it.
Great ad-lib for Shanker to come off his block. This will be the 10th play of the drive. Bigsby tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Knee came down after a gain of 2. A little bit of chatter there between Bigsby and Jacquez Jones. We asked Jacquez Jones this week, what do you make of Tank Bigsby? He's a big dude, and he loves to make contact. His quote, "Meet me in the hole one time." He got what he wished for.
You love that. I don't know if I've ever met a good linebacker that wouldn't have that same mentality.
Bigsby, left side, stiff arm, dive, touchdown Auburn. What a play by the freshman from 18 yards out.
And it's the pre-snap motion. Watch this motion and how it grabs the eyes of the backside linebacker, and that's what makes that hole you see right there for Tank Bigsby. And Cole, add another one to the clicker because he just keeps breaking tackles.
I got him at 13 on the game.
Jeez. 13? This kid's special.
They knew it. And the bad snap. And
2017, Syracuse beat Clemson and almost did it again in 2018. But how about this? 27-14, Rex Culpepper finds Nakeem Johnson. Only catch of the day, but he goes 83 yards to the house. We got a ball game. Q's down 6 with 5 minutes in the third.
wow.
Uh-oh. It's like Rocky. Remember Rocky 4? He's cut. He's bleeding. Clemson, they're human. They're human.
They're only human against Syracuse, it seems, in ACC play the last few years. 7 yards for that would have a incredible impact on the college football playoff race if Dino Babers' team could pull off the upset on the road. Snoop Connor again. Looks hair short. We'll see.
Yeah, and they're back in that 12 personnel. 2 tight ends in the game. Keep this on the ground.
It is a first down.
Going to come down to the wire, and that 1 point, we're going to come back to that. That 1 point off the board could play big down the stretch here.
Corral wants to throw. Steps up. Launches deep. And we've got contact but no flag. Overthrew Elijah Moore by a good 5 yards. Nehemiah Pritchett had the coverage downfield.
And really, only the second time I think we've seen Corral throw the ball maybe more than 10 yards downfield. Just hasn't been there. I think Cole said it's getting the rain's a little less right now, so the football's drying up a little bit. So not going to be surprised if either of these guys start pushing the ball downfield a little bit more if the option is there.
Busted play. Corral now following Ely. And he takes it to the 40. Papa with the tackle. What happened?
A little miscommunication here. Yeah, I'm not sure if Corral thought he was going to wrap back to his left, to the offense's right.
Almost looked like he couldn't reach it.
Yeah. Because I think he was going to stay tighter or go the opposite direction.
Now 3rd and 3 to the air. And that's a first down on the completion to Elijah Moore. You're starting to see on 3rd downs examples of how Ole Miss on 3rd and 3, maybe other teams run it. They're not afraid of an incompletion because they'd go for it on 4th down anyway.
Yeah, that's the analytics, right? You know you're in a situation to go for it on 4th once you cross that 40-yard line that we just saw.
Great fake by Corral, and he takes it to midfield. Why is Matt Corral so good at play fakes?
He is unbelievable with the ball in the mesh. Now, what is the mesh? It's that point where the running back's arms are open, the quarterback sticks the ball in, and that's that decision. Does he keep it in and hand it off, or does he pull it late? He's so good at the mechanics of that mesh point, it's hard for linebackers to read.
Gives it to Ely this time. Bust through the hole! And right into the safety for another first down run for Jarian Ely. That one for 13.
And anytime Corral sticks it in the gut of the running back, the linebackers are not sure if he's going to pull it out. So there's a little bit of hesitation. You see Zero hesitating just a hair, just long enough for that run to spit outside.
Corral told us first day of practice, Jeff Levy going into that practice gave him a page and a half of notes on handoffs alone. He said, I was shocked. The preparation said everything from quarter turn to half turn, front hip, back hip. Said, I didn't know a handoff could be so complicated. Full steam ahead. Jarian Ely, gain of 4.
One of the reasons that's so important is because this offense, a ton is predicated on RPOs, right? Run pass option. Now, they haven't done a ton in this game because Auburn's playing softer, right? Not as much man press on the outside, not as much stacking the box. So those aren't there, but that's one of the reasons that mesh point is so important.
Snoop Connor on 2nd and 6. Snoop Connor down to the 20, Cole.
Yeah, I talked to Jared Stidham, former Auburn quarterback, that actually played in this Baylor offense, just about how they operate. And spending that much time on a handoff makes sense because he said We had a run option on every pass play that was called and a pass option on every run play that was called.
Jeff Levy was on Art Briles' staff at Baylor. Timeout taken by Auburn. Ole Miss fired up, 6:23 to go. They're down 6 as they look for a rare home win against Auburn. And the weather only part of the miscues. Auburn bad snap on the punt, failed extra point. Ole Miss pick in the end zone, a fake field goal that didn't make it.
And it still feels like that's going to come down to who wins the game. Who doesn't make a mistake in this final 6 minutes and 23 seconds?
The missed extra point looming large right now. Corral pulls it back. Wanted to throw. Somehow stays alive. And he had a wide open Jonathan Mingo in the end zone, just couldn't get it to him.
That's the same play they ran on the opposite end. When Corral scrambled for the touchdown, they tried to do a little zone read pop pass, and Auburn vacated and ran with the receivers and left green grass for Corral. Did a great job of containing him and covering on that play.
Fade route. Mingo incomplete. He was matched up with a linebacker, with the cornerback Jalen Simpson.
And this is good coverage here. There's a little hand fighting. That's okay. That's good coverage.
He made his jersey a V-neck.
Yeah, but it wasn't exaggerated. Didn't change his shoulder angle. I'm okay with a little hand fighting like that. I think that happens on most plays. So good coverage. I'm okay with it.
So after leaning heavily on the run, consecutive passes to leave 3rd and 10. Corral going to throw it again. Here's Mingo. Gathers, takes it inside the 10 and lowers his shoulder to the 5. Jonathan Mingo, a little woozy. Got a wobbly boot as he gets up after a gain of 15.
And this is what Matt Corral did not do last week when they tried to push the ball downfield. He missed the checkdowns. He forced it. That time it wasn't there. He checked the ball down. Great game.
Jaboa lead blocker here. Straight ahead. Touchdown, Jerry and Ely. 5-yard touchdown run, and Ole Miss a point after away from taking the lead.
Well, an inside zone has been there all day. Ely, Connor, Corral with his legs. Impressive the job Ole Miss has done on the ground today. 258 yards on 46 attempts.
3 straight pass plays that time for Ole Miss. Luke Logan, point after, good. And Ole Miss with the lead, 5:43 remaining. Matt Corral's run for 2 touchdowns. And now he's handed off to Jerry and Ely for another. Pass, run, and Ole Miss.
Moore says, hey, I like this. I like this matchup. I like this play. Look, you go into the game thinking there's 4 or 5 plays I really love. That changes in the 4th quarter. The way things is going, quarterbacks see things differently throughout the game. Make sure, if you're Chad Morris, you got 2 or 3 plays that you know Bo Nix loves, and you make sure he knows what to do situationally. Situational football is big right now.
Bigsby had a 100-yard return that was called back. They're going to squib this one. It gets through the wickets and into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Did that hit Shivers?
Yeah.
As the kick was untouched by the receiving team, grounded in the end zone. By rule, the ball is dead and a touchback.
Shivers started to go after it, but then didn't. Let's see how close this was.
Oh, man.
Left hand.
Oh, I saw a finger
boy,
there.
I think it hit
You
the
see
right
that?
hand.
Yeah. Oh. He got caught in between, right? Do you run up it and try to make a tough catch? You let it bounce, and are they not looking at this?
How did they not look at it?
Wow.
Remember, Auburn caught a break in the Arkansas game thanks to the instant replay crew who botched the spike from Bo Nix. And now we've got a flag. and we'll see if they stopped it before the snap.
Wow.
10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
That's the difference between a clear and immediate recovery in the end zone and a touchdown.
And it looked immediate to me.
Absolutely.
Right there, the left pinky. It hits his left pinky, no doubt. And he knows it. Wow, that is a huge miss. You were right. Auburn got a friendly call against Arkansas. It went their way, another one. But if you're upstairs, you have to review that. You have to review that. Boy.
Auburn took advantage of the friendly call against Arkansas by drilling a game-winning field goal. This time, a big stop on the run by Bigsby, and plenty of talk between Bigsby and Jaquez Jones.
And Brandon Council down on the ground there for Auburn. He's been everything for that offensive line.
Would have been a touchdown for Ole Miss. Auburn football, 2nd and 20, 5 minutes plus. Almost intercepted. Smith had it right off of his chest after it bounced off Anthony Schwartz.
And the troubles with ball security and catching the football for these Auburn receivers continues. This is a well-thrown ball, and that is almost a ball never lies, and a gift back
that's
for
exactly
Ole
what I was
Miss.
thinking.
I mean, literally. Like, that one should have. Ole Miss deserved that. I'm being honest. Okay. Moving on.
3rd down, 20. 5:06 remaining. Bo Nix, 20 of 25 through the air. Man coverage. Williams knocked away. Incomplete. Miles Battle had the coverage with safety help. And Ole Miss is going to force a punt with 5:02 to go.
I mean, this is the matchup that you want. You got one-on-one coverage with Seth Williams, your best receiver, down the sideline, and watch where this one ends up. Oh. I mean, that's a bang-bang. Ole Miss guy, man, does a good job of getting in there to this battle, but I feel like Seth Williams is going to be mad he didn't come down with that. And now Ole Miss will get an opportunity to make
Keep
things
your eye on
right.
the long snapper. Bill Taylor's had 2 bad ones, and he gets it on the numbers to Carlson. No return for Ole Miss. 40-yard punt. 4:50 remaining. Ole Miss with a 1-point lead. And Matt Corral's got his helmet on. What a game he's had in a bounce-back performance.
He's played exceptional. He's done it with his legs most impressively. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 1 or 2 plays at John Rice Plumlee. I mean, you got 3 timeouts, you got 4 minutes and 50 seconds, you got an eternity. You don't have to have a total sense of urgency here. And when have they stopped Plumlee when he's been in the game? I haven't slowed down Matt Corral either. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a sprinkle of both here.
Plumlee's averaging 7.5 yards per carry. You expect Ole Miss to put the brakes on their tempo in this one and try to run as much clock as they can. Connor taken down behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1.
And that's
Jacoby McClain, the other.
That's when you get in trouble, Tom. I know, traditionally you're thinking take time off the clock. But Lane Kiffin said it yesterday. This team, this offense, this style struggles when you slow things down, right? It's predicated off tempo. It needs confusion. It needs the defense aligning late. They need to play with tempo. So if it was me, I'd keep going tempo, and you see John Rice Plumlee now in the game.
Plumlee keeps it. They got pressure on him. Goes through 2. Third man gets him, and Ole Miss going backwards on this possession. That's a loss of 5.
Well, it's just a great job by Big Cat Bryant. He rushes the mesh here. Watch him attack the mesh point of the running back and the quarterback, and then adjust to the quarterback and bounce him outside. If he doesn't do that, Plumlee can get going downhill, but he bounces him out so the outside defenders can bring him down.
3:35 and rolling.
Auburn here, be ready for a quick screen on the outside. Rally to the ball and tackle.
Corral finds Drummond. Taken down at midfield by Smoke Monday. It's a gain of 9. What does the chart say? 4th down.
Well, 4th down is where the chart starts to go more towards instincts, right? I talked about insights versus instincts. The chart is by the book for quarters 1 through 3. Now you get into 4th down, 4th quarter territory. Now is where you have to really start to understand your team, understand momentum. They're going to leave the offense out there, which I agree with. That's what the book would say.
11 seconds on the play clock.
But then again, do you risk giving Auburn the football here at midfield?
Would be great field position. And they're not going to get the snap off.
Yeah.
Ole Miss used a timeout. The Rebels use a timeout with 2:33 to go. They'll have more time to think about a 4th and 5. And the field position conundrum for Lane Kiffin. Do you go for it and risk giving Auburn half the field with 2.5 minutes to go? On the other hand, you could salt the game away, it seems.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the chart right now that I'm looking at it. Midfield, the chart is telling Lane Kiffin now if it was 4th and 3 or less to go. So this is that borderline gray area, right? 4th quarter, you're going to decide what to do to win a game or not.
Look at Gus looking over to the Ole Miss sideline before that. I talked with an SEC defensive coordinator earlier this week. He told me what makes it so hard to defend Lane Kiffin are the times that he goes away from the book, and it makes him a lot less predictable. What did Kevin Steele tell us, the defensive coordinator? He's like a Las Vegas gambler playing with house money. Gonna pull his chips back on this one. Mac Brown, the punter, out there.
And this is what I would have done, right? You can't afford to give Auburn the football down only 1 at midfield, right? Make them drive the length of the field. So I agree with this.
Eli Stove, the return man for the Tigers. Got the kick away quick, and it's going to carry into the end zone. 50-yard punt, no return. And Bo Nix will lead the Auburn offense on the field with a chance to be the hero. Came up short on the game-winning drive last week against South Carolina.
And these are career-defining drives. And what do I mean by career-defining? He's got a lot of career ahead of him, but this can set the quarterback on a trajectory, on a confidence, on a path to take the next step. These type of drives right here are going to be fundamental in Bo Nix's development in taking the next step for this program.
Replacement right guard Keandre Jones in the game. 4-man rush. Pressured. Taken down from behind. Sam Williams with the sack. 2:15 and rolling. It's a loss of 4. Auburn's got 2 timeouts.
Man, and Bo Nix has got to pull the trigger. He had an open receiver. He's got to be okay just throwing it for a 5-yard gain. He was looking more downfield on that one. Can't get all the yards at once. Got to chip away at it.
Under 2 minutes to go. 84 yards to go. Nix to the outside. Eli Stove up the sideline and out of bounds. Just short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1, but the clock will stop at 1:52.
And a huge completion to settle Bo Nix down there, right? Your nerves get going, you get sacked, the clock's ticking under 2 minutes. Settle back down, you still have a lot of time and 2 timeouts.
They'll run it on 3rd and 1. Bigsby spun around at the line of scrimmage. Bo Nix says, get up, let's go, let's go. Sam Williams with the stop on the first down run.
Yeah, that ball actually popped out. I think Bigsby had to jump back on it before he got up. Lucky to recover that. Sam Williams in position to scoop it.
Shivers now in the game at running back. Oh, that ball was out. Nix behind his receiver trying to find Anthony Schwartz.
Got to get back to an easy completion. How many throws so far this game have we seen from Bo Nix, quick to the perimeter to get a playmaker, the ball in space, where you break a tackle, you can go for a long score, or go for a good game. You got to get a high percentage throw here. Watch number 1, Anthony Schwartz, in the slot at the top of your screen with a lot of green grass in front of him.
Nix to the outside. There's Schwartz, and he goes out of bounds. To set up a long field goal, they need to get to the Ole Miss 35 to match the career long for Carlson of 53. But remember, less than ideal conditions, and the long snapper has been erratic in this one. 1:21 to play. 1 point deficit for Auburn. Nix, sideline shot. Seth Williams has it, and he's free down the sideline. Touchdown, Auburn, 58 yards.
Unbelievable throw here from Bo Nix and his best player on the outside, Seth Williams. You got man coverage on the outside. This is a great back shoulder throw. Look at the ball location in the range by Seth Williams to go get it. And when the DBs lose sight of the ball like that, you got to just make one miss. And an absolutely huge play by Auburn when they needed it most.
And this is a big one, too. Lining up to go for the 2-point conversion. They've converted 1 on the season. That was the longest Auburn play of the year. They'll roll Nix, looking end zone. Fires across his body, in for the 2-point conversion. He finds Williams again. They couldn't get on the same page last week. This week they're reading from the same script. Nix to Williams, and Auburn has the lead.
And this one, another great play call, right? You get Bo Nix out of the pocket. You act like you're going to throw it wide to Anthony Schwartz. You have Seth Williams there. Just turn and show his quarterback the number. His numbers, you got 2 great options, and look at those 2. After going at it on the sideline in frustration last week, embracing each other, dabbing each other up.
Matt Corral ready for his moment.
And now it will be all Matt Corral, right? Last drive, when you have a little bit more time, that's where you can mix in Plumlee. You need Matt Corral's arm right now. They'll ride him the rest of the way. Again, go back to what I believe the missed call on the kickoff that was touched by the Auburn player that would have been recovered in the end zone by Ole Miss for a touchdown.
What a way to start your college football Saturday. A thriller in Oxford. Ely and Parrish back. This game has had a little bit of everything. But once again, at the center of an Auburn game, a missed call from the replay booth could be the headline. Fair catch taken. Matt Corral will bring the offense on the field with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. This is an Ole Miss offense that is used to going fast. They practice it not just for a period of practice, they practice it every day for the entire practice. What kind of advantage is that?
Well, it's another day at the office. Look, I know the scoreboard is what it is. I know there's 1 minute and 11 seconds left, but the tempo is what this team is used to. So they're operating how they want to operate. Keep an eye on Elijah Moore. Just 5 receptions, 16 yards so far this game. He's in the slot here, off the ball. That's who they want to go to on this drive.
Corral looking that way. Into triple coverage. Of the 6 interceptions last week, Corral said afterwards, I was staring down my receivers too much, and that was the case there. 2nd and 10 now, minute 8.
Yeah, he's got to move on that one. Just trying to force one in there to get the drive started.
Only 25% capacity, but nobody's sitting here late. 3-man rush. Corral wanting to go deep. Instead, he'll scramble, and he gets hogtied, and a first down run. That carryover enough to stop the clock and move the chains with 60 seconds remaining. Four-man rush this time. Corral pressured again, steps up, pumps, he'll scramble again. Ole Miss got to use a timeout soon.
I think you got to use a timeout there. Look at the time that's coming off the clock here. This is almost 10 seconds here by the time they're going to get this ball off.
They wasted 13 seconds without using the timeout. Out route, Yeboah, the tight end, out of bounds. 26 seconds to go, just about midfield.
Man, time is so important. That's one of the reasons Lane Kiffin wanted to give up his play calling duties. He wanted to be more of a CEO, be able to control things and look at things on the defensive side of the ball, be better in time management. And they lost 13 seconds there.
26 ticks remain. 2 timeouts left for Ole Miss. Down a touchdown.
And still attack the middle of the field here.
Corral looking left. Steps up again. Wants to throw. Reluctantly runs. 18 seconds left. 17, and he's shoved out of bounds after the first down run. He wanted so badly to let one go, he finally took what they gave him.
And that's such a smart decision. Look, everything in you as a quarterback is telling you as the clock ticks down under 20 seconds, you got to take a shot. But with 2 timeouts, and I agree, they should only have 1 and a couple more seconds on the clock, but with 2 timeouts, the whole field is still open. You want to get about 15 more yards here so you can take a shot or 2 into the end zone.
They drop 8 again. They're covered again. Corral trying to thread the needle. Incomplete. Looking for Braylon Sanders. 2nd and 10 with 13 seconds left.
And just look at it now. That timeout, that extra timeout does you no good. You don't need 2 right now, right? You only have a good amount of time for 1. So
sure could use 13 seconds, though.
Yeah, imagine 26 seconds on the clock now and 1 timeout. That's a different ball game. You got to try to get 10 or 15 yards here so you're not just Hail Marying it into the end zone as time expires here.
Auburn who dropped the coverage on 2nd and 10. Corral lets it go over the middle. That's complete inside the 30. Yeboah, 8 seconds to go. Timeout taken. Now you got 8 seconds out of this timeout, Jordan. What are your options?
And throw a line drive to try to get a jump ball and imagine you're going to have anything left on the play clock.
So is it worth it to run a quick out and get 8, 12 more yards?
You don't even need to do a quick
out.
Yes, Tom, absolutely. So have that dialed up, but the inside receiver may be your best option. Throw it to him, tell him to get down as soon as he catches it, try to pick up 8 yards here. Just get yourself closer. Yeah, you got a timeout. You call timeout, and you have about 3 seconds left on the clock or so to take a shot to the end zone. That's what I'd do.
Matt Corral's 16 of 25 in this game for 154 yards. Here's another thing to consider.
Right go ahead.
Auburn was flagged for 3 pass interference penalties last week. It's a secondary that had their hands full against South Carolina.
Auburn, keep everything in front of you here. You want to stack a couple guys at the goal line and keep everything in front of you.
We got a timeout. This one will be taken by Auburn. They had 2 left. They saw how Ole Miss was lined up, and they'll discuss it.
And what they saw there is that Ole Miss wasn't in a throw it deep into the end zone formation, right? That's what they wanted to know. Do we need to get a guy in there, be prepared, or extra guys back in the end zone for a jump ball, or are they going to try to throw quick? I think they saw there that Ole Miss is going to try to get a quick throw to pick up 5, 6, 7, 8 yards and call a timeout.
Well, here's the play that looms large.
Watch the left hand. That pinky snaps. That ball was touched.
Replay booth told us that they reviewed it quickly, and they didn't see anything to overturn it. Auburn was able to get going, eventually scored, instead of a touchdown the other way for Ole Miss on the immediate recovery. And so here we are, touchdown game, Ole Miss trailing with 8 seconds left.
Look at all this space here. I'd throw the ball to Kenny Yeboah here in the slot on the hash and get him 5, 6, 7, 8 yards.
He's got him there. Go for the end zone, incomplete. He may have been able to run it. Regardless, 3 seconds left. And it'll come down to one final snap.
And they were even more aggressive than maybe I would have said to do, but that is that ball has got to be caught. If that's caught, either he gets in for a touchdown or he's down. They can call a timeout, and you have one play inside the 5. Now it's a jump ball down here. These 3 receivers at the bottom will be a jump ball into the end zone.
Gus's mask can't hide his emotions on that one. Got the heart rate up. So it comes down to this. 3 seconds left, 2nd and 10. The drop by Yeboah, huge.
Boy, you saw it all over Lane Kiffin's body language, just dejected. He had so much room. That's why I thought they might try a quick throw, right? Get as much as you can and get down, but they tried for even more than that and had a ton of space. And again, if Yeboah catches this football, watch him run up the hash. I thought they'd throw it right around there, right? If he catches that, he's going to get tackled, but he probably gets tackled at about the 7-yard line. Call a timeout. You got 1 second or so. Man, this game has changed on a few big plays, from the special teams plays to that big drop right there.
Some mistakes don't show up in the scorebook. 3 seconds to go. Last play of the game. Corral steps up through traffic, has time to direct. We got a flag on the play, lobs it to the 5, past the line of scrimmage anyway, and it's intercepted by Auburn's Jordan Peters, who will run out of bounds and run away with the victory. Auburn catches the breaks they need